52356. Thank you. If we can have you all step into the hallway, thank you. We are on record in the matter of Stephen Miller, and I have the names of our participants for purposes of this petition for approval of settlement of wrongful death claims.
Morning, Your Honor. AJ Gupta appearing on behalf of the petitioner in this matter.
Michael McFarland, attorney guardian ad litem.
Rick Jarrett on behalf of the Rose Box, Your Honor.
All right, we have a couple of other individuals in the meeting. I have Ina Lavax, is that right?
Ina Lavax.
Ina, thank you, welcome. Are you here on the Miller matter?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
She's
All
the
right.
guardian aunt.
Thank you. And who's logged in under a phone number ending in 1684? If you could give us your name, please.
Margaret Grieve.
How do you spell that?
ARGARETGRE, V as in Victor, E.
Okay, and are you here on the Miller matter?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. All right. Mr. McFarland, would you like to start off with an initial assessment?
Yes, Your Honor. I did prepare a guardian ad litem report. I hope the court is in possession of that. I
Yes.
shared it with Mr. Gupta and
Yes.
fellow counsel here for the insurance company. I also reviewed, and it was forwarded to me, the retainer agreement. Had a discussion with Ina, a very pleasant discussion, also with Steve Jr., Your Honor. And based upon everything contained in my report and my discussions, my position is that this should be approved. Steve Jr. is present in another room if necessary, but I don't see that at this point, Your Honor. This is for the full settlement terms. There are loss of consortium. The deceased left 6 brothers, 6 siblings, in addition to Ina, and they're all waiving, or they're not going to challenge this. So, like I said, it's attributed 10,000 to each of them for loss of consortium, and they're letting that go to Ina, and the balance then would be going to Steve Jr. Right now, they're living in a very crowded 2-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom unit, 2-room unit, I should say, with a vehicle that's over 20 years old. And Ms. Lavac's position is that she's going to use her funds for a house, for a vehicle for both of them, and for the pending adoption down the road, which Steve Jr. is very, very anxious in a good way. Yeah, I am familiar also with this case, I should say, because about a year ago, I prepared another guardian ad litem report. I did interview all the parties earlier in another matter regarding this.
Mr. Gupta.
Yes, Your Honor. As indicated, this is our petition for approval of settlement of the wrongful death action and distribution of proceeds. All interested parties have been placed on notice of this settlement. We've received no objections. I'd like to take testimony from Ms. Lavax, Your Honor, if possible.
Deputy Ames. Ms. Lavax, please.
Ms. Lavax, could you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, Ms. Lavax. You are the personal representative and the sister of the decedent Stephen Miller Sr., correct?
Yes.
And you're aware of a proposed settlement for the ultimate death of your brother as a result of an automobile accident which occurred on June 1st, 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the insurance carrier for the proposed defendant has offered to pay $250,000 in settlement of this matter. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the Sam Bernstein law firm has incurred costs and attorney fees as outlined in our petition. Is that correct?
Yes.
And we're asking the court to approve the settlement and the distribution as we've listed in our petition. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you understand that if the court approves the settlement, you waive your right to a trial by a judge or a jury, where you could potentially receive more money, less money, the same amount of money or no money at all. Is that correct?
Yes,
And you understand that the court approves the settlement, it acts as a full release against the defendant and a final release. Do you understand that?
yes,
And we're also asking the court to make a ruling that your brother did not suffer any conscious pain and suffering, as the death certificate reflects that he passed within seconds to minutes of the impact. Is that correct?
yes,
Do you believe it's in the estate's best interest to settle the claim at this time?
yes, I do.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Questions?
Just a couple, Your
Go
Honor.
ahead.
Thank you. Ms. Levax, you understand that if the court approves this settlement and you sign the documents proposed to facilitate this agreement, that you or anyone else on behalf of Stephen Miller Jr. would be forever precluded from bringing any claim against Wade Rosebach, Christine Rosebach, May Rosebach, Madeline Rosebach, or their insurers as a result of this accident. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
Thank you, ma'am. I have no further questions.
I have just a couple questions for you. I represented to the court that the money you'll be receiving, $60,000, that you're going to be using that for a residence for yourself and Steve Jr., and also for a dependable vehicle, as you are in the process of adopting Steve Jr. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. Next July, I'll be adopting him.
Could you repeat that? You couldn't quite hear that.
Yes, I will be adopting him next July 24.
Thank you. Okay. I have no further questions. Sir.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Judge, I just have one further comment.
Comment or question?
I'm sorry?
Comment or question for this witness?
No more questions for the witness.
Okay.
No.
Any other witnesses, Mr. Gupta?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you wish to call any witnesses
Oh,
today?
no, Judge, I was just add to this motion that we also resolved Mr. Miller Jr.'s individual claims in Genesee County earlier this month.
Thank you. I was going to ask about that frankly, because I'm assuming that Stephen Jr. is a minor.
That's
Yes, Your
correct,
Honor.
Your Honor.
Right. So the settlement proceeds that this court would be approving would need to be funneled into a restricted account for purposes of monitoring that into the future. So I wanted clarification that that's where these funds were going to be going.
Your Honor, Ms. Levax has been appointed conservator for Stephen Jr. out of Genesee County. We have a restricted account opened already, and funds have been deposited in there already. So these funds will be in addition to that.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments then?
No, Your Honor.
Here you are.
None.
All right. The court has reviewed the petition and listened to the testimony, reviewed the supporting documents, and I do find it to be appropriate to grant the relief as requested. Simply with the caveat that I'd like the order to reflect that the funds that are earmarked for Stephen Miller Jr. Will be deposited directly into that restricted account. I would also like you to finish the pieces of this proposed order that you left for me to fill out so that you can read them in the future.
Be fine, Your Honor. I will do so, Your Honor. I did not know if Mr. McDonald had a GAL fee that I could include.
Mr. McFarland?
I will have a GL fee, Your Honor. I've spent 1.5 hours at this at $150 an hour.
Great, that sounds appropriate. If you could circulate the new order under 7 days, just to make sure that we have any room for objections as necessary, I'll be happy to sign that. After that.
I will do so, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'm so sorry for your loss, and best of luck to you moving forward.